Good morning again. How is everybody doing? So, I climbed out of bed and came to check on my updates. And I see here, look at all these shoes. Oh, they're so gorgeous. This is because I did that post on what shoes should Meghan wear the other day. So I just get all these shoes automatically in my feed. Okay, so this morning, I I saw this article that royal fans are calling for Kate Middleton to follow in Meghan Markle's footsteps, but not everyone agrees. And apparently, what they are calling for is for Kate to have a podcast like Meghan, like Archetypes, and apparently they are saying that Kate has such a soothing voice, and as a consequence, her voice is extremely soothing. So, as a consequence, they think that she could have her own podcast like Meghan, she should copy Meghan Markle and create her own podcast. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that the idea for something like this has crossed the mind of Kate's handlers. Where did the picture go? I don't know. 2 seconds. I can't move my computer. Um, so I'm sure that Kate's handlers have thought about it because it is clear to me that they are trying to brand Kate as the new Meghan, as the superior Meghan. They're trying to one up Meghan with every step. I don't think it's necessarily Kate's idea. I think it's her team. I think it's her handlers. And I think she's going along with whatever they say because, she's not a girl who is experienced with any of this kind of stuff. She was being groomed. She went to St. Andrews with William and she did what she did, whatever she did, art or whatever. And she was being groomed to be a princess. And, that princess was going to sort of keep a very low profile, sort of like her mother-in-law, Camilla. And she was going to sit in her palace and raise her children and exercise and, be there for her prince husband, And that's all she was going to do. And then Meghan came along and Meghan made her seem like she wasn't doing enough, So then this whole thing started to, in the press, really. I mean, people like Piers Morgan and others commented on this need for Kate and William to compete, to basically defend their position against Meghan and Harry, because the perception, I guess, was that Meghan and Harry were doing too much, they were too popular, they looked too busy, and so they're trying to counter attack, to be a counterpoint, and then to obviously exceed, because I mean they are king and queen, and especially Kate, she's queen, and unfortunately in society it's always about the women competing. Men competing it's like a different thing. So everything that Meghan does, it seems like Kate's team tries to get Kate in it, and every outfit, whatever. So now they're talking about her being a podcaster, the princess podcaster. And look, I mean, I think that as a, if Kate wants to do a podcast, she should do a podcast. I mean, I think everybody is free. It's just that I feel like um it's so obviously copying, Okay. But also I think that I wonder whether Kate has the voice for a podcast because Yeah, yes, I think she has a very soft voice, obviously. She has a very soft voice. But I don't know that a podcast, and I'm not an expert on podcasts, but it seems to me that a soft voice is not really the thing that you need for a successful podcast. Obviously, you need a voice that people want to listen to, and a soft voice and a soothing voice is more pleasurable than a voice that is loud and not soothing, obviously. But there's such a thing as being too soothing. And I think that Kate potentially has a voice that is so soft and so soothing that it could actually be boring. And it could actually, or okay, if not boring, which is harsh, it could be, um, it could be like too soothing, so it puts people to sleep, literally, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I mean, look, maybe she'll be a great podcaster. I'm just saying that there are risks. The fact that somebody has a soft and soothing voice doesn't mean that they would be a good podcaster. Also, I think there's more to a podcast than your voice. I mean, what are you going to talk about, and and how do you sustain that over a period of time, 6 months, a year, whatever it is. Because I'm sure a lot goes into Meghan's archetypes than just Meghan's finished product, and I am woman, I am da 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 da, right? I mean, you come up with your theme song, and okay, that's one aspect, but the actual subject matter of your podcasts, the theme of your podcasts, the guests on the podcast, just holding the interest of the audience. I mean, being interesting enough to star in a podcast, I think is very, very involved. I mean, if you look at Meghan's podcast and the cast of characters that are involved in this podcast, it takes a lot to create a podcast. It's it seems easy, obviously, because what you're seeing is the finished product. You don't see what goes on behind it, and whether Kate would actually have the commitment or the discipline to or time to give to something like that. I mean, because she seems to be around and about everywhere these days. It remains to be seen. And whether that podcast will be able to hold people's interest in terms of the subject matter, and whether her voice, yeah, I mean, because that's a part of it. It's like you have to have an interesting voice. And I just think that Kate's voice, I mean, quite often, I don't understand what she's saying. She's not a public speaker, she's not charismatic. I mean, what are her strengths? I mean, she does have a soft voice, right? She's got a beautiful smile. She can definitely be an ambassador to many different things. She can be the face of many things. Yeah, she's a face. She has the figure and so on. I don't know that she can do a podcast, but I could be surprised. Let's see her do it. I dare you to do it, Kate. If you think that you can create a podcast that rivals Meghan and is sustainable over a period of time and gets top ratings and keeps people interested, I double dare you. I double dare your team. Let's see you do it, right? Let's see you do it.